Hello, CEOs. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Bridgett. Well, today I have mixed emotions. Today is my last episode for this season. And also today is a day that I make a huge announcement at the end of the episode. So I want to talk about what's brewing today. And I am extremely honored and humbled that my brand manager is my guest on today's show.
Hey.
You know him from so many different facets. I mean, he is just like multi-talented. So please, CEOs, help me welcome the Cameron Washington.
Hello.
Cam, thanks for joining me on Coffee with Bridgett.
My pleasure.
So, Cam, I wanted to talk with you about time management.
Okay.
And about the space of being a creative, because I feel like you are the face for the word creative.
Oh, well, thank you.
Every time I see you, you're always, moving and shaking and implementing and coming up with so many different ways to really, catapult your brain to the next level. So how do you do it all?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I have a book that's called Who Says You Can't Do It All? And I think it's really about making sure that you are doing things that you are absolutely 100% passionate about. I think when you are passionate about doing it, it becomes a part of your life. You know as well as I do that us as entrepreneurs and CEOs, we don't have days off because we are always working in our passion, what we enjoy doing. And so it's just a matter of one, being accountable for what you create. When you hold yourself accountable to it and you couple that with your passion, you just consistently are able to create and be in a space of creating.
So how did you know that you were this creative? How did you know that you had that gift? What was the defining moment, or as Oprah said, your aha moment to say, I have this gift that I can help, pull out of other people and package their gift?
Well, I mean, to go from even a spiritual side, I think that we are all given gifts and callings at a very young age before we are even born. And I think it's just a matter of bringing them to the surface. So I think in every single person, there is some type of gifting or creativity in them, but some of us maybe act on it more than others. So for me, I think even as a child, I was always very creative. As a child, I dressed in suits going to school.
CEO early, huh? Yes.
I was carrying briefcases instead of a book bag.
To
school.
You was carrying your briefcase to school.
I promise you. Those little backgammon briefcase they have. I would take all the pieces out, and that would be my book bag to school. So I always had an entrepreneurship mentality and was always creating. I didn't necessarily have to sit in front of the TV. I could be fine in the room, drawing and creating and making books. So it was always in me. And I think just over time, I just learned how to develop it and mature my creativity. So I think that goes with anyone, that there's always something in you. You just have to really tap into it and groom it and cultivate it and mold it.
Wow. You took me back when you said backgammon, because I haven't played backgammon in years. Yes. I used to have one that it was brown and then it had like the little brown and tan, stripes on the inside. Yep. Oh my God.
And I would get in trouble. My mom would say, who took all these pieces out of here? And I would have all my little papers in it.
Wow. So now as an entrepreneur, and as a creative and as an influencer, which is how I look at you, as someone who has the power to influence. Now, what can you tell, what kind of advice would you give to entrepreneurs who are just new in actually creating their brand?
I think that you have to take your time. I think that success is a process. It isn't a race. It isn't who gets to the finish line the first. It's about getting there in the time that has been allotted for you. And sometimes we look at quick growth as being healthy, but I say this all the time, is that you want to grow and not swell. You don't want quick success, because a lot of times quick success ends quickly as well. So you want substantial growth over a period of time. And I think that's really about taking your time and making sure, again, that you are accountable for what you create. When you make yourself accountable, you hold yourself to a certain standard, and don't bite off more than you can chew. Take it step by step. I think that's the most important part, is you can't look at anyone else's journey, what they're doing, how fast they got there. You have to create your own story in the time that's been given for you.
So, listening to what you said, and I've said it before in previous episodes, and that is, as an entrepreneur, we have our successes and we also have our failures. And I think that one of the things that's most vital is that when you have your failures, you not only learn from your failure, but at the same time, you find that teachable moment in there that you can share with someone else. Because I believe, after each failure that I've had, my teachable moment, I have to pass that along to somebody else.
Absolutely.
So what has been the one thing that you may have considered failure?
Well, I feel my pastor voice coming on. Let me come out of it. I don't look at anything in my life as a failure. I look at it as an opportunity to learn. And I have learned that over life, when things maybe don't go the way that I wanted them to, or maybe I made a decision in haste or that wasn't the best, I have learned now to stop and say, okay, God, what are you trying to teach me from this moment? And so I don't look at it as failure, because I think that even in that, there are lessons to be learned. I tell people all the time, even in mentoring, is that every single thing that happens in your life, every single situation, it's a learning opportunity. So we might look at it as, oh, I messed up, I shouldn't have did that, but it is an opportunity for you to learn and be able to pay it forward. So when you look at it that way, you don't really consider it a failure. You consider it an opportunity to learn, to grow, and then to share it with someone else so they don't make the same mistake.
So now, as I've been working with you, each time I talk to you, you're working on a new project.
Yes.
Each time I talk to you, there's something new. So we have Dream Nation.
Yes.
We also have the We Create campaign that we did last year.
Yes.
You sing.
Yes.
You also play the piano.
Yes.
You're a mentor.
Yes.
And you're an uncle.
Yes.
And now can we add to, Hope City, which I was at the installation.
Now.
So now you're a pastoring.
O2 Eyewear, so many things.
Yes, it's just so much.
Yep.
So what can we expect from the Cameron Washington brand in 2018?
Certainly. To be honest with you, and this is even a tip for...
Oh, and I forgot your app. You got an app too. See?
An app too. Yep.
See what I'm talking about?
I believe in multiple streams of income, and I believe, for some people, they may look at that and say, oh my gosh, you're doing too much, you're just all over the place. But everything that I do is strategic. And what I do is I set up my life in a way that I planned way ahead of time. I'm already in 2019. 2018 is, I already know
you're
everything.
In what?
Absolutely. I'm in 2019.
Okay.
So I'm not now planning for next year. I'm already 2 years ahead. And that's how you have to run your life, is you have to make sure that you are thinking well in advance. So with that being said, now pastoring Hope City is really not just my pride and joy, but my responsibility even more as an entrepreneur. It relates back to entrepreneurship, because I want those that are part of the ministry to see that you can have a dream, you can have a vision, and you can do it. It doesn't matter the resources you have, who's not there for you. The days are over for all of that. Oh, I don't have the support. Oh, I don't do this. If you are given that idea, do it. And that's really what I'm doing. I'm working on another book now that I'm going to be putting out, which is called, I'm not going to give you the title yet, but it is a book.
I was about to give
It is definitely a book of success and really words and things that successful people say and do. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on bringing my candle line back. So I just believe that every single thing I think, I have the power to do it. And that's where I live.
Wow. I love that. Like you said, so many different things.
Yeah. And let me just say this about you, how proud I am of everything that you are doing. We have been working together for some time now, and I have truly seen you evolve. And I think one of the greatest things and the teachable thing for those of you that are CEOs or entrepreneurs is that, a lot of times people say they want a brand manager, or they want a team to work with them, but when it happens, they're either so protective or not open to learning or expanding their horizons. But you have just been like a clear canvas just waiting to be painted, and you have allowed myself and those of others that work on your team to really come in and entrust us with your brand, and that is how you grow. So that's why you are seeing such great success. I feel like I'm about to prophesy something,
and I'm already emotional.
But no, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of you not being distracted by who thinks what, who says what, who doesn't get with it, who you have stayed in your lane and what's for you, and that's why you're seeing all the success coming. So I'm super proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I know since we have been working together, a lot of things have definitely changed for me. And one of the things that I'm most grateful is that even as my brand has started to evolve, I evolved as a person.
Absolutely.
And, as my brand grew, so did I. I began to identify with Bridgett, and not just who the world sees, but Bridgett as a person. And I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know what makes me happy. I know what makes me sad. I know what drives me. So throughout this process, I've learned so much about me. And I'm happy to share that with the world now.
And that's a part of it.
Because I know I add value.
Absolutely.
So I'm so confident in that. I'm not in the phase of my life where I worry about what everybody else is doing. No, I don't worry about what everybody else is doing. I celebrate those other entrepreneurs, and I'm grateful that I'm able to build lasting partnerships and relationships. And I'm grateful, most importantly, that throughout this whole entrepreneurial experience, not only did it change me, not only did it change my brand, but I definitely have made an impact. And that is the fruit of my harvest for me.
And that is the greatest thing, is when you can combine your passion and your purpose together. Although you're excited about it and you enjoy it, find a way that there's purpose within it as well, because that's where you find true success. There's a lot of people doing things that they enjoy doing, love doing it, but it's when you connect it to a purpose for somebody else. I mean, I really feel like the Holy Ghost.
I feel like this is totally shifted.
I'm trying to
this whole episode has really shifted.
But it's true. That is where the blessing is, and that's where you find success, when you can see that what I'm doing, I'm not just doing it just for me, but I'm doing it so that it can bless somebody else, so it can uplift somebody else. And that's truly what you do with your entire brand, and that's why you're seeing the success.
Thank you. I'm like super happy. I feel like a kid in a candy store. And even those of you, who watch the brand, in total transparency, you've seen me change before the camera. You've seen my look change, and I'm really feeling cute today. Okay?
Come on.
You've seen my look change. You've seen me more visible. You've seen my actual brand changing. So I'm just excited, about 2018. So before we wrap this episode, I have a huge announcement that I wanted to make. And that is, in 2018, I am super duper delighted and excited. And I don't know why I'm getting so emotional.
You deserve to get emotional.
This brand is just everything to me. But in 2018, I will have my own line of coffee.
Woo! I can't hear the audience. Studio audience clapping. Oh, there they are.
And my line of coffee, I've settled on a name. It's called Bridgett's Brew.
I love it.
So next week, I go to the roaster and I will actually start tasting. So stay connected. For those of you who watch the episodes, email me, coffeewithbridgett@gmail.com. Till next season. Cheers.
Cheers.